Hi there, welcome once again to the Dukascopy TV studio here in Geneva. I'm Ben Jones. Alongside me to discuss the impact that technology can have on the hotel industry is Alfonso Tasso, CEO of Swisscom Hospitality. Alfonso, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So can you begin by discussing the current economic situation for the hotel industry and how things have evolved over the past few years or so?
So the hotel industry has been impacted massively by the internet. The internet has had, I think, two key elements that it brought to the industry. One is it has changed the reservations and the way that people make bookings. And secondly, the transparency that it gives about the hotels. On the first point, on the reservations, it basically has aggregated more and more in so-called online travel agents, the amount of bookings that come into a hotel. This has led in turn to hotels wanting to unite in order to gain more visibility on the internet and having more negotiating power with these online travel agents, and has led to, I think, a trend of chainification. So hotels, independent hotels coming to chains. On the transparency element of the internet, what it has done, it has basically allowed people like you and me to actually rate hotels and give more inputs. And it has led, I think, also to the breakdown of the traditional split of leisure and business hotels into what we see more and more coming concept hotels, which are usually sub-brands of wider chains that try and associate you and me being both a business and a leisure traveler at the same time. So I think the internet has changed it dramatically. And I think that's where Swisscom is keen to play a game.
Okay, now how much of a role has Swisscom played in helping technologies to advance within the hotel industry?
So the hotel basically needs to rethink totally what the guest is doing. And the guest traditionally used to just need a phone, and then it needed a TV, or at least an interactive TV. And frankly, the guest uses neither of those these days. So it's now totally about the internet. So the hotel really has to rethink a little bit what it does in its internet offering. And hotels have been underinvesting or underestimating, I think, the importance of internet. Internet has become the #1 amenity in a hotel, believe it or not. Any ratings analysis or any questionnaires that are going out today from Forrester or others clearly show that the internet is the #1 amenity in a hotel. So it's surprising because clearly it doesn't seem to be particularly working still. And hoteliers are still confused about just providing the internet and actually having an internet that works. And there's a big difference. So to answer your question, I think Swisscom is keen to provide the hotel industry with, I would say, the internet that works. And the internet that works is not just for you and me, but it's also for many of the appliances within the building and many of the applications that the hotelier uses to make sure that all this connected world works better and actually functions.
Okay, and finally, how can technology help new hotel projects?
So the most important thing that hotels need to remember is that it's about the internet backbone or the IP backbone in a hotel. When they build new projects or think about new projects, they really need to think a little bit like they used to do with electricity or water. They need to think, first of all, of their design of the infrastructure of IP, of internet protocol in their building. Now, unfortunately for the hotelier, this is not as easy as hot water and electricity because it is an ever-evolving element, the internet infrastructure in a building, and that needs to be managed. So remember, it's a little bit like you putting a hot water system in place, but you actually need to double or triple the amount of hot water you need every year, and the plugs change every year, and the devices you connect to the hot water pipes and so on. So it's a totally rapidly evolving environment, but it's absolutely key. So in that sense, what a new project needs to think about is, first of all, the design and implementation of the infrastructure itself. What we're definitely telling hoteliers not to do is not to make the hotels into a techno lab. Some hotels, want you to be wowed, but very often it goes wrong. It becomes too complicated for you as a guest staying just one night. So I think they should also stay away from actually making investments in forms of all sorts of crazy new tablets, because these things change every 6 months. So it's really about the infrastructure, the basic infrastructure of a new project, and the management thereafter. And that's where Swisscom Hospitality really sees its niche.
So can you elaborate a bit more generally on what Swisscom bring to the table?
Sure. So the internet infrastructure needs not only management, so design, implementation, and management, but then has multiple things that go around it. First of all, the way that you connect portals, infrastructure that actually allows your devices to come online. Secondly, you may have conference and events within properties, and Swisscom supports you in those, and they're more and more technological. Business centers are kitted out. TV systems go online and become connected. Your handheld devices as a hotelier need to talk also to the network. So everything slowly within a building, be it your home or be it a hotel, is more and more interconnected through internet protocol. And that's where Swisscom comes in, to make it all happen and bring it all together, and providing the glue, if you want, on the network for you to have a good, solid and reliable guest experience.
Fantastic. Alfonso, once again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Do make sure you keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV, as we'll be bringing you plenty more updates and exclusive interviews. Bye for now.